And probably one of my worst dog of the night predictions of the year. I went with Tabitha Ricci as she took on Yan Xiaonan back at UFC Macau when we were forced to rip up that ticket, as her improved striking did not seem to come to fruition against a nasty striker in Yan Xiaonan. And we were unable to see any of Ricci's grappling come to fruition either, as Yan pretty much shut that shit down. Straight up, very bad performance from Tabitha Ricci there, and we have to rip up our ticket. I believe we went 1-3 over the last 2 weeks on Dog of the Night plays, which now brings our yearly record to 46-85 with a minus 15.64 unit deficit and a minus 12% ROI. Yuck. Absolutely disgusting. Let's see if we can finish in the green here, or at least in the black with about, how many events do we got left on the year? Obviously 2 UFC events, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, 6, 9. Yeah, 9 events left that I'm going to be researching on the year. Obviously not going to be chasing, but obviously it'll be very difficult to at least finish in the green here. Let's see as close as we can get to the black, but either fade, follow, whatever you want to do with the segment. I'm not going to stop doing it because that's what we do. We stick it out. All right. Again, one of these 3 will be the official lock or dog of the night candidate. Doesn't mean that I won't be playing the other ones, but only one of them can be given the official title of dog of the night play. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First one up is going to be the Chase Hooper under 1.5, which is plus 140. Sorry, that's Chase Hooper versus Clay Guida under 1.5. Usually when Guida does get finished, it often happens early on in his fights against submission specialists like Charles Oliveira and Jim Miller. I expect Chase Hooper to bring the same amount of aggression as we saw in his last fight against Vyacheslav Borshev, which I believe will lead to a club and sub victory for Hooper, who's absolutely streaking right now. I think he's on a 3-fight winning streak, but he continues to look more dangerous and more confident every time out. I expect him to overwhelm Clay Guida and eventually open up a submission opportunity, and that should happen all within 5 minutes. I'm going to say 7.5 minutes for the sake of this prop, but I do think that he ends up getting that first round finish in this fight. So the under 1.5 would be the first dog of the night candidate. Second dog of the night candidate is going to be Themba Gorimbo and Vicente Luque under 2.5 at plus 140. Obviously, Gorimbo has gone out there and grinded out some of his opponents, but I do think that we are seeing a very diminished version of Vicente Luque, and I think he's going to start to crumble just like he did against Joaquin Buckley earlier this year. And once Gorimbo starts landing some big shots and getting dominant positions, I think we'll see Luque fold and end up having to seek the exit there. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping what I saw in the Buckley fight for Vicente Luque was just an anomaly, but I have to believe that there are a lot of issues behind the scenes that he's dealing with that could affect him inside the cage, and he's going up against a very aggressive Gorimbo here who I believe realizes the opportunity he's getting by replacing a fighter like Nick Diaz to get this fight, and hopefully that allows him to get an uptick in his aggressiveness. And we know Vicente Luque normally brings the heat when he's really on as well, so he has a potential of finding a finish as well. But the under 2.5 at plus money is a spot that I feel compelled to take a shot on and potentially be the dog of the night candidate. The third and final dog of the night is going to be dog of the night candidate, I should say, always emphasizing the candidate because it doesn't mean that it's an actual play, but could potentially be. We're going to go with Doo Ho Choi coming in at plus 120 as he looks to build momentum off of his win earlier this year over Bill Algeo, which snapped a 3-fight losing streak, I believe it was, but also picking up the first win in over 8 years for Doo Ho Choi, whose career has been plagued by a myriad of injuries and military service and out-of-cage issues. It was very feel-good to see him get that victory over Bill Algeo, but now he's going up against a berserker and Nate Landwehr, who I believe he has a technical striking advantage over. I think he'll be able to use the aggressiveness of Landwehr against him here, and I think he'll be able to counter effectively off of his back foot, land that big power, and eventually put Nate Landwehr away. At plus 120, I think that this is a great spot to take a shot on Choi, who may start to fall off if this fight gets into deeper waters, but I do think his power will negate the fact that this fight could get into deep water, and we'll see this fight actually play out within the first 7.5 to 8 minutes, and within that time we'll see Choi land that big shot to put Landwehr away. So give me Choi as the third and final dog of the night candidate. Just a quick asterisk here. Again, dog of the night for me, the criteria for this segment is either a money line play or a total. So total to me is not a specific prop per se, but it is a total because not often, but there are some cards where I don't feel confident enough in terms of predicting more than 1, 2, or even 3 underdogs to pick up the win. So rather than forcing myself to pick against somebody that I predicted against, I look for totals that are plus money that I believe have a good chance of hitting. Hence why you guys got 2 totals in this spot, which could potentially be the dog of the night play as well. So there you guys go. All right. That's a wrap on the dog of the night candidates here. I'll be back tomorrow for the quick picks version of the breakdowns for UFC 310. See you guys then. Peace.